This or that?
Straight into it.
Sure.
Oh,
We're rolling.
Were we rolling?
Whoa.
May as well.
Yeah.
Good to have you back in the studio.
Yeah.
Riverside's first and only.
This or that.
The odd Riverside app wasn't my favourite,
No.
personal. But
Worked
good.
hard. How was Noosa?
Yeah, good thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful weather.
It was in the end?
Yeah, it was good.
You had a little rain earlier, didn't you? Is that what you said?
No.
No,
It
not
was
at all,
rain.
okay.
It was raining before we got there.
Before you got there. Right.
And raining after, so
Perfect.
good little pocket.
Nailed it.
This or that. I'm going to go with Make Bait, MakeBate.
Make bait.
Jeez.
Is it a kitchenware brand that specialises in cast iron? Or the word used to describe someone that causes contention or quarrels?
What was that second part?
A word described to you someone that causes contention or quarrels.
Contention.
Yeah, I'm in.
Don't overthink it, Ben.
I'm going to go the kitchen because I can't remember what you said.
I'm going the other one.
Come on.
There's a second one. So
Yes,
right.
good.
Yep.
Ben celebrated early.
He went for the early. Come on. Not sure about it.
Try to trick him.
Yeah. But I know why he celebrated, because it sounded like whenever Harry's disappointed,
Yeah,
it sounds
yeah,
like
correct,
you've got
yeah.
it. But
Yeah, bad luck.
Oh,
So-
yeah, you threw
Can't,
us.
can't win them all, can you?
And you can't win them all with your foot either. Another week.
Sorry, I thought we were going on Harry's thing. It caught me off guard.
Sorry.
No,
I see what I've just jumped straight to
yeah,
the update.
we
But
might
I'm
as well
thinking people are interested.
on the update.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the club released update last week, so won't play until after the bye roll, which is disappointing. I think, I'm a little bit flat. Like, you want to be out there, and there's a quote like your best ability is your availability, and when that's taken away from you, it does suck a little bit. So, especially I missed last week was the first game I've ever missed. So
For the Bombers?
yeah. So that was quite hard to watch.
They were very impressive too, which I
Yeah.
don't know. What does that feel like when you're like,
Other
God, I
than-
wish I was out there?
Other than the first quarter where it was looking
Yeah.
pretty ugly, they turned it around really well. So it was certainly tough watching on the couch, but I was pretty proud in terms of the response for the remaining three quarters. But it does suck not to be able to out there and help and contribute. So
Yeah.
disappointing. Hopefully be back after the bye at some stage.
Well, it says here TBC, but your return will come clearer once you recommence running, and you're currently off legs. As you
Off
rehab.
legs,
that-
minimising time on feet. So
Right. So
yeah.
you walking in here, is that
I had to get the
Against the
Uber.
rules.
have you broken rules? Are
No,
we gonna have to cut this bit out of the?
no.
There's a doctor at Essendon going, he walked in there.
It's flat out.
But just without going into too much detail, just trying to reduce your time on legs so the rupture can heal basically.
Yeah.
Like scar tissue will do its thing, and hopefully be running in a couple of weeks, and then hopefully after the bye will be what we're aiming for. Hopefully, so all depending the next 2 or 3 weeks, because you need to give it a good spell to sort of heal.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a little bit flattening that you're not out there and you're not sort of helping the team. And as I said, your best ability is your availability, and when that's taken away, it sort of sucks. But I suppose there's people in worse situations than I am, so a bit of perspective is always important.
And it means you'll miss the McKay Cup, which is
Again,
extraordinary now. This record. I'm surprised we got one away last year.
Yeah, it's a real miracle, really.
Diamond in the rough, isn't it? Yeah.
Just got one in the book.
At least we got one, I guess.
We got
but-
one away.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that game when we talk about Harry, of course, playing this weekend. Carlton v Essendon, King's birthday eve. But then you were also on AFL 360 last night, Harry, on the players' night.
Yeah.
So it was you with Darcy Moore.
Yeah, it was good fun.
And I thought it was really natural. It was flowing. You and Jared and Gary were
Gaz, yep.
Romance with Jared again.
exactly.
Yeah.
Rapport.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a good man, Jared.
Yeah.
So it was Gaz. It was good fun. Darcy was great.
You were talking about when Darcy does the toss.
Yeah.
And have either of you would have done tosses before in your
Maybe
like
junior footy.
milestone? You haven't for the club?
Not at
Even-
AFL, yeah.
Really? Even for like milestones or something?
No.
Oh.
No.
What would you do if you had?
What, heads or
'Cause
tails?
Well, first of all, heads or tails,
Heads, I reckon.
and then would you have an end that you would kick to?
Depends on the conditions a bit, I reckon. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
With the wind?
Sorry, going back to Jared, do you reckon your bromance is better than your rapport with Will?
Yeah.
Oh, probably. Yeah. I think we get along pretty well.
We get along well.
But not at Jared's level.
Not
Is that-
Jared's
Jared.
You can be honest. Like,
No, I reckon me and Rollo are pretty solid.
if you had to rank them 1 and 2, who was it?
Probably a draw.
Straight bad. We hate straight bad here.
Oh, Jared.
both
He's
good
one
fellas.
of the greats. And then this is a grab of you on 360 last night talking about
What
your hobby.
outside interests you got, H?
I'm studying as well. I'm doing psychology, so not quite as good as international relations, but do that part-time. Got a podcast, guys, that I know you listen to most weeks.
Never miss it. You and Ben?
Yeah, and Ben. So doing that. Just finished a reno. So
Great.
been busy
Did
enough.
you do any of the reno yourself?
No, I mean, paid people to do it. Same thing.
First of all, thank you to the production team from 360 who put Ben and Harry podcast on Gary's sheet, I
Oh.
imagine. That's
Yep.
so he got a nice heads up.
Yep.
And then the Renault. We haven't
Yeah.
heard anything about a Renault.
Yeah, I've talked about it heaps in here.
On the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Ben. MJ's just vehemently shaking
Hard on
his
the
head
fence here. I'm not sure.
outside. Straight back.
Maybe you have.
No, neither MJ or I have any inkling of a Renault.
Yeah, I definitely.
Well, you told Jared, you know.
He's told the TV world. Yeah, Jared gets all the gold.
I swear I said it off air, I must have, but yeah. Anyway,
What is the plan? Are you putting a deck in?
no, we've just finished.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't pretend like you don't know.
What did you do?
Nothing like structurally huge, but just the inside kind of
Right.
just prettied up a bit and a few little things. So it's good.
Yeah.
Good to have done.
Oh, Jared finds out before.
Yeah, sorry.
That hurts.
That really.
That is a kick in
really
the teeth.
stinks.
Speaking of kicking in the teeth, that is.
Was Maddie or Harry in charge? MJ wants to know.
Collaborative approach.
Collaborative?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, sitting on the fence.
No winner. Okay, so this week, of course, the King's Birthday Eve game, which
Yep.
is, what is this, about the third time you think this has happened? It's becoming
Third, yeah.
to be third, yeah.
a mark on the calendar now. And so Sunday night MCG, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And
What do they reckon crowd wise?
I think I saw they were hoping for 80 plus.
Yeah, probably. Should be huge.
And
Yeah.
you guys fresh off the bye, Essendon, of course, still with the injury concerns of the last few weeks, particularly to the tall men.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? How are we feeling? Is the Carlton team feeling rested? Can you tell that when you're coming into the club? Does everyone?
Yeah, I think
feel-
everyone feels a bit rejuvenated, a bit of energy. We've had a good week so far, so yeah, really looking forward to it. It's obviously Bombers been playing some pretty good footy, and as you said, it's always a big clash, the Kings Eve game. So yeah, boys are pretty excited to get at it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Bino,
Oh, sorry. I'm just-
zoned out.
yeah.
You were miles away.
Absolutely. I think the boys they played Thursday night and then obviously it's Sunday, so it's a big turnaround between games, and they had a couple of days off after the Brisbane flight. So yes, in terms of sort of body wise, I think everyone's feeling pretty good, and yeah, keen to get back in a good training week. So I think anytime you get to play in a big occasion on the MCG, gives you an extra sort of pep in your step. So yeah, I'm shattered I can't be out there, but in terms, we had the mid-season draft as well, so we've had 4 guys roll in.
Oh, of
and,
course. Yeah.
You always try and get around them, and you sort of never forget what it's like when you first walk in the doors and how everything must be pretty crazy for them. So we've
Yeah.
had a busy week, but I think Sunday can't come around quick enough for the group to respond from last week. So yeah, and anytime, as I said, you're playing in front of 80,000 at the G, it's a pretty cool occasion. So Sunday it would be awesome.
Both teams with seasons certainly alive. You know,
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is a monster game. It's actually a cracking round of footy if you go through all the games. And we had a very interesting issue from an AFL perspective that I wanted to ask you two as current players. So Wayne Miller, of course, the Adelaide player, post-game against the Swans, his Crows decimated the Swans. I think it was their worst loss at home since the 90s. And he very innocently, and I thought candidly on ABC after the game, was asked, what about the performance? And he said, oh, yeah, you could just tell out there they were a bit of a rabble. That was the word he used. And it was criticised by some media after the game. But personally, I thought there was absolutely nothing wrong with what he said. I mean, it was something you guys would probably be careful not to say going forward. You guys are pretty tame with those sort of comments post-game, I imagine. But what do you think about a player referring to another
Well,
team like that.
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the Adelaide CEO come out and apologise to Sydney? Is that
I think he publicly announced that he apologised. I'm not sure if that was
Yeah.
Right.
how.
It's a tough one because, we want players to speak their mind, and I don't think Wayne would have crossed a line by saying that. Maybe in his delivery, I'm not sure. I haven't heard it, but yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think you want players to feel like they can't sort of give an insight, whether it's a word or something they noticed out there. So I think it's play on, but can understand sort of some people, not sort of seeing it that way, I suppose.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard it either, but to Ben's point, you don't probably want to be too. You can't chicken or the egg. Like you can't say you want more from players and stuff, and then they use slightly different terminology, and then they get hounded for it. So I don't know, it's a fine line, but
I suppose it's a strange one because their club actually sort of didn't defend him. It was normally if it's just the media, then you can sort of but if it's their own club sort of going against what he said, then it gets a bit messy.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask, have you felt that, I'm sure you have, when you're out on the field and you're playing really well against an opposition team, or you can tell that an opposition team is really struggling, and you're just like, geez, this mob's a rabble today. Is it something you talk about with your teammates?
I think it's more like we played against teams that when we're on top of, it's more like, I think it's like body language and things like that, you're a bit flat. You can tell maybe their comms aren't as sharp as normal, and then, if they're back in the game, then all of a sudden it sparks and they're up and about and the energy's good. So from my point of view, I think it's body language I can notice. But again, we're all in that same scenario when you're down by however many points, it is easy to, the first thing that goes is almost your body language. So I find it quite easy to pick up in some scenarios.
yeah, I don't know how you describe the word, but yeah, you can definitely tell if you're on top of an opposition or they might be a bit disorganised or a bit disconnected or whatever. Maybe, yeah.
How do you exploit that disorganisation? Or is it just you're worrying about you?
You're more worried about you, I reckon, and your connection and organisation. And then if that, upon reflection, is, if they're unorganised off the back of that, then you doubling down on your focuses. I reckon that's the best way to do it. You can't really be too focused on what they're doing around.
Yeah, you observe it, but you probably again get back to what you need to do. So I thought you said that well. Yeah.
Did you see Josh Rochelli's through ball
Yeah, that was cool. Hey,
at the SCG?
That was great.
Have you ever seen anything like that? And do you think players would even just the attempt of it? We were talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Reminds me of my
Quick
FIFA skills.
Yeah,
a bit.
honestly, triangle through ball.
yeah, correct. Oh, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the presence of mind just to be able to do that straight away.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Do you think there's room for more things like that, more inventive kind of play? I mean, we've seen over the last 10, 20 years the kind of bash on little flick-ons. I think the Richmond team really used that to their benefit in their period of dominance. But I don't know. Have you thought about any creative styles of play like Rochelli?
Well, I think everyone watches other sports, right? So soccer and whatnot. So you are exposed to those sort of plays. So I think it's great. I think if you can have the awareness to do those sort of things, then I think it should be encouraged. And the players these days are so skillful, so you probably shouldn't be surprised that these things happen more and more. And I think the situation has to be right though. Like you see those sort of things, and it turns over, and it'd be like, oh, why didn't you just pick it up and get it?
It can look silly.
Yeah, so I think it's a fine line, but I think it's a great spectacle in terms of when it comes off.
Yeah,
it's
for
great.
sure.
A perfect example was your teammate Nate Caddy's over the head goal.
Exactly.
Which I think he said he'd attempted maybe a couple of times in training, and he'd sprayed it both times.
Yeah.
Have you seen that with your own eyes before? Is that something that he...
I can't remember the exact moment, but I think he has had a couple of those type of things where you sort of have a shot from 10, 15 out on the angle. And obviously this one came off really well. So I think with
Just flushed it.
Yeah, he flushed it. It was amazing.
Imagine if he missed.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
He had all the time in the world.
Exactly. Or give a handball or something.
Yeah.
But I think you have to encourage that as well. Like, if you have the presence of mind to do that, you can work with the decision. But I think you have to just tip your hat sometimes and say that was just really cool. Yeah,
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah,
Goal of the year.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That was probably, is that close to the best game you think he's played at top level? As a Lions fan, I was just like, this bloke is annoying the shit out of me.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
playing so well.
Well, I think he floated down back and took some intercept marks as well, so he was everywhere. But I think his athleticism is second to none, and he's working on his body and filling out a bit more. But again, he's just his raw athleticism and just presence in terms of see ball, get ball is as good as I've seen in a long time. So, if we can build the other stuff around that, then he's going to be a scary player for the next 10, 15 years for sure. And he already is.
Yeah. And then Carlton, of course, had the bye. And we're happy. We're feeling refreshed.
Feeling good.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a pep in the step.
Pep in the step. That's right. Do we have a question from?
We do. This is a question from Ben from Brooklyn, who we've spoken to before, but this is all the way from the other side of the world, from New York.
Hi, Ben. Hi, Harry. This is Ben from Brooklyn. I was wondering what your opinion on goal songs are, because some clubs have them and some don't. And it just seems strange to me that you don't get to choose. So what do you think? And also, if you had a goal song, what would it be? Besides Love Story, Harry. Anyways, thanks for listening, and go Blues.
Thanks, Ben.
Good one. Would it be Love Story?
So I think we did a little quiz in the off season around like what if you were like at Carlton, like if you had goal after celebration, what would it be? And yeah,
was this like to gauge if you guys were interested?
So, yeah.
Like
We had the same thing. We had
really?
a couple of the higher up people in the footy department asked some players feedback on it and said, would you care or would you like to have songs after goals? So I think some clubs are looking to implement it.
Are you willing to tell us what your feedback was?
I said, I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah.
It probably doesn't affect you as much, Ben.
Wouldn't put too much thought into it, Ben.
It's funny though, when we were chatting about this stuff like 2 weeks ago or last week, because obviously Brisbane do it probably better than anyone. And
I think Brisbane, at least it popularised it. First.
Yeah. And someone was asking Andy McGrath, like, what are your thoughts on it all? And he said, well, obviously I normally play on Charlie Cameron, and if Country Roads is playing all night means he's kicked a bag. So
it'd haunt you, wouldn't it?
It haunts him. So it's funny how it sort of everyone has a different view on it, but I think it's good for the game. Yeah,
it's good for Brisbane. I feel like it's that the kind of audience up there is very more family oriented, and Country Roads ringing around the go, because that's like no other player can pick that in the competition now. Surely,
no, you wouldn't.
It's like never tear us apart. It's
I
kind
might.
of just. Ben just claims Country Roads.
It's only one in every 10 years, so
it would pop off.
It would pop off.
If you kicked one. Good question. What would your song be, Harry?
I think I said it was a Taylor Swift song. It was maybe
You would go Taylor
22
Swift?
or something. Yeah,
22.
yeah. I think that's what I said in the quiz.
What would you do, Rollo?
No, it's so hard. You don't know whether to go a classic or a song you actually like. I've had one before and I can't think of it. Probably something Arctic Monkeys, just because I love Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Joe Danaher had Let It Go, Frozen, which was infuriating because he kicked heaps of goals up at the Gabba, and it's just like Baby Shark. It's like annoying. Twinners.
Ben and Harry's
I'm so excited for this.
Winners
Birds often think I'm a treat.
and Losers.
Mandarins. I just love him. Mandarins at the moment. That may be my twinner, actually. I'm gonna.
No, I can't.
Mandarins.
Yeah. That is
We're
actually
back in season.
in season. Taylor and I are eating 2 a night at least. So
2 each?
yeah, a night,
Jeez, you're pumping.
yeah,
them.
pumping through.
Oh, you've produced
Yeah,
a prop.
so you like this. So my twinner this week, I think it's from Sandy, our auntie, but she passed this on. It was pretty sure it's a Japanese, but it says fall down 7 times, stand up 8.
You're kidding?
So it's like just maybe a bit of proof that even though my tattoo was executed poorly, like it is a saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought I'd pass it
I
around.
studied a bit of Japanese, but I don't think I'll. Oh, okay. So
I went to
and
Japan.
Sandy
so
said that
I
if
can probably
I wanted to redo the tattoo in Japanese, that's how I do it.
fall down 7 times, get up 8. Daruma is what it's called.
I can approve it if you want.
Yeah,
'cause
you
I know
can, because you of course have been to Japan.
Yeah.
Looks,
Nah, it's fake.
It
That's
looks,
fake.
oh, it's not authentic. Yeah, good. Oh,
Yeah,
well done to Auntie. Explain the tattoo again, Harry.
No, well,
Just
Fre-
quickly, just sum
fresh
it up.
listeners,
Like,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be like.
so there's a saying as on here. It says fall down 7 times, stand up 8.
Yeah.
I was young and dumb, but it was going to get that. But use an arrow as in, so Roman numerals 7. So you fall down as in an arrow downwards, Roman numerals 7, and then an upwards arrow, and then Roman numerals 8.
Yeah.
And instead of 1 arrow to go back up, they put 2 downwards arrows. So it essentially said fall down 7 times, fall down 8 times.
So you're never getting up.
Yeah.
So you're just permanently down.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the Japanese proverb.
Yeah. Don't know. It could be, but So
fall down 15 times.
yeah,
Winner? Twinner, Ben?
Twinner. That was a twinner. I
No,
did the Mandarin. Yeah,
Oh.
you're losing.
Oh, are you actually?
yeah,
that is yours.
That actually was.
Oh.
Yeah, I had no
Oh,
one, but I'll roll with that.
2 Mandarins a night.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not great, is it?
No, it's fine.
No, it was good.
I didn't really have too many losers.
I had a good loser. Again, Taylor and I we rewatched the Hunger Games,
Yeah.
and the last scene of the last movie, there was like a time lapse to like 10 years later. And I suppose the loser is sometimes those TV shows can leave you with more questions than answers sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's a great watch, but you're just like sometimes infuriated. You'd love to know a bit more.
That's a
Don't you
good
reckon?
one.
Don't you
Yeah.
reckon?
It was too open ended for you.
Yeah, well, obviously they do it on purpose, but it does make you ruminate like for an hour later, like
Yeah.
if only or what happens here or whatever.
That's the whole point of it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, but it's frustrating.
You're still reading your business card.
Are you engaged at all here?
I'm reading this still. Yeah.
Loser?
No, I didn't really have too many.
Really, nothing.
We're gonna start finding each other, I reckon,
Yeah.
for every time we do.
Maybe the weather. It's starting to get cold, isn't it?
I love the
Winter.
cold.
What's this controversy we've got here? I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Well, we were going to do this last week, but we had an action-packed episode. So this was we'll play first of all. We'll play the grab from July 11 last year. Oh, from 2023. Right, here we go.
It's
First,
the first year. of the
My
pod.
twin of the week, Will, is Ugg boot slippers.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
doubled up, have I?
Thoughts? I have a pair, and so does Harry.
What do you mean Ugg boot slippers? Isn't that what Ugg boots are?
Yeah, I'm just giving context. It keeps you warm. In winter, you get home, put them on.
Yeah.
I love them. Yeah.
that time of year.
Yeah, it is.
Oh God! And then 2 weeks ago, don't tell me.
Start with your twinner. Yeah, twinner. Yeah. I think it's safe to say it's officially Ugg boot season again.
Yeah.
Well, it was 2 years between drinks. That's
Yeah.
all right, I reckon.
What
Would've
was the
thought.
time between mandarins?
Yeah,
This time last year.
maybe a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My loser, I'm getting an MRI tomorrow because I reckon I've done my other shoulder.
Oh no.
Speaking
no.
of doubling up, I think this
Really?
is just the same injury. So we'll find out. Did I come in a sling?
You did,
Is that-
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, it was around September of
Yep.
2023. So yeah, we might be.
What
back
was
on.
the issue with it again?
A tear in my labrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, and it's killing me.
Really?
So anyway, just injury updates from all of us
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah,
Harry's the one.
He's fresh.
Yeah, I mean, your best ability is availability, and
Yeah.
hopefully,
It's a good
can,
saying, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully I can front up.
Yeah.
Questions. This one is from Mira or Mira.
Hello, Ben, Harry, and Rollo. This is Mira from Wangaratta. Bit of a weird question for you all, but what are your thoughts on drinking milk by itself? My uni friends and I were having a debate about it, and apparently there's some gene that some people have that makes milk taste sour. Personally, I'm team milk and go Blues.
Nice,
Good
Mira.
question. I can't stand it. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
had a glass of milk right here, I would throw up.
You'd throw up.
Yep.
You wouldn't even need to drink it. You just,
Oh, I'd
if
have,
it was
I'd
just
have a
sitting
sip, but I would throw up. Yeah.
Yeah, we never, some families or some, like it was like water
Yeah.
for them. They just smack
Yeah.
milk. Yeah, no, we were never really like that.
No.
You'd have it with cereal or whatever, but I couldn't just have like,
Is
I'd drink it, but I wouldn't enjoy it, yeah.
Pardon my ignorance. Is it dairy farming country at your
Yep.
way? It is.
Yeah, we weren't on a dairy farm, but
Nah.
Taylor's family's on a dairy farm.
Right.
Hmm.
Do,
So, yeah.
Would she be a straight drink?
Yeah,
Straight milk drink?
she would be able to do it. Yeah.
But it was never part of your.
No.
You're,
More chocolate flavored or strawberry.
Yeah, you're a Nesquik guy.
nah, not really.
No.
No.
Oh, not really.
This is the worst chat.
Yeah. It's lost all momentum.
Yeah,
Oh, momentum! It's that time of year.
yeah, it's just a slug.
yeah.
slug.
Just got to get
Slug
a
fest.
mandarin into us.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
That's right.
Or two.
yeah.
Ben, you got the
We're nowhere today.
Oh, wow.
We are nowhere.
rusty ass.
Well, a reminder to everyone out there, we are on TikTok and Instagram at Ben and Harry Podcast. So give us a follow, say g'day, send us a review as well, and on Apple, and hit the bell on Spotify roller. Get involved.
Nice, mate.
Yeah.
Very good. Good
Flying.
finish.
With a bang.
We started it horribly.
Beautiful.
Right.
Good work.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you. Go Blues.
Right.
Go Lions.